We're here to protect our right to bear arms today. We're here to basically tell the government that you're not going to take our freedom, you're not going to take our guns. How do you feel about it? Do you feel that we're in a police state now and that they're trying to take our guns?
I think slowly they're going to try to take our freedoms and try to punish those law-abiding citizens like that. Criminals are not going to obey any laws, so why would we make more laws to try to solve a problem that we don't even really understand? So,
exactly. I mean, if some lunatic decides to go in a movie theater and kill everybody, I mean, that shouldn't be. We shouldn't, as gun owners and myself, shouldn't be penalized. Not
we should actually.
We should not be a dishonest society of slaves that we can't protect ourselves. We should have a means of
as well as anybody know
on our side to be able to protect ourselves and all those other
things that have happened. I teach in a talk. That's past tense. I taught in
Do you think that the government purposely wants to disarm us, guys, or what?
Yes.
I've
Why do you
taught
think
all
the
levels,
government
Once you
basically,
take the Second Amendment,
6 through 12, and various times, mostly in the middle school.
So you think that once you disarm people, you can
7th, 8th
enslave
graders, 6th
people?
graders.
Absolutely.
Do you think there's going to be a second revolution?
I'm crazy. There's the
I
answer,
think there might be a third world war.
You think there's going to be a third
Well, they're
world war?
crazy too, and I
The two may blend together, but I hope that it's a peaceful revolution and then it doesn't
When I
come
see
down.
those little
100%
kids
love and
in the
non-compliance, you think that'll do it?
I talked about this in a radio show.
You think love is the highest vibration, or no?
Many of you have children.
Do you think love is the highest vibration in the universe, or
Yeah, I do.
you believe love is the highest vibration?
Yeah, they want us. The government wants us to operate in fear. It's been proven that we can't make as many connections and we can't thrive when we're in our fear wavelengths. Love. When we're in love, we can.
Second graders,
Really do
what they're eating.
So you think that they want to control us, mind control us through fear, so that way we say, okay, well, we're afraid, so we're going to have to give our guns to Uncle so Big Brother can protect us.
Fear tactics. Yes.
So what do you think's going to happen in the next, say, 3 years from now? Do you think they're going to take our guns or no?
And I couldn't say one way or another.
Are you willing to give up your peace or not?
Absolutely not.
If someone comes to your house right now, say the National Guard or SWAT team, and says, listen, there's martial law is here, we're going to take your gun, what are you going to do?
However,
dead hands.
What are you going to do?
I'll
do the same thing. I don't
see
see any reason to give up my firearms. Even though I might die, defending my freedom,
we don't let that jeopardize
other people will follow and
our
they'll
freedom. We can't let that
be able to keep their
jeopardize
freedoms.
Well, thank you for your time, guys. I appreciate it, man. I'm Paul, dude. Thank you for your time.
majority of it.
Awesome.
Have come from Lamar, as John and I have. Really pleased to be here. This is, as I've been saying, one of the most special places I can imagine to do something like this. Why we're willing to travel up here. I mean, how do you do any better than what's back there? You know, 1775. A guy named George Washington was appointed commander-in-chief of the Continental Army right back there in that building. And about 12 years later, our Constitution was hammered out right there in that building while he sat there in a chair that's still there and oversaw that for that summer of 1887, I guess. I mean, that's just amazing to me. And here we stand. And obviously, all those fellows walked around these yards in this area and contemplated what they were doing. And here we stand, trying to continue that support. Oftentimes I'll use the phrase, I know you have too, probably. Well, I know our founding fathers are rolling over in their graves over this, and that's pretty commonly heard, especially in the last couple of months and the last 4 or 5 years, right? Well, I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure they're rolling over in their graves. My guess is they're clawing at it, trying to dig themselves out of there so they can get up here and grab somebody by the scruff of the neck and straighten things out. But unfortunately, they can't do that. That's up to us. I'm a teacher, at least I was. I have the title of teacher. I don't know how much of a teacher I was always, but I taught for 29 years and retired yesterday, actually. Thank you. My students just thank me for retiring. No, we had a great time. I really missed them. And it was one of the hardest things I ever did walk away from that. But I did. And I was thinking, driving up here, about how in some ways our politicians are like students. Because, one thing we need to do with them, first of all, we give them birth, in a manner of speaking. We launch them, and then we have to oversee what they're doing. We try to provide them boundaries within which they can operate safely. And when they misbehave, it's our job to discipline them, put them in timeout, or send them back home, whatever we need to do. And we need to keep that in mind. They really are like our children in many ways. They're not out there on their own doing whatever they want to. They are more like young children. And we have to remember that we are responsible for what they do. And we've got to hold them accountable, don't we? But we like to let them think they're in charge, but they're really not, unless we let them be. A couple of things, again, as a teacher, I want to be constructive. We've had some great speeches from folks that just make wonderful points. We all are able to make wonderful points now. I think all of us have become much better educated about our rights in the last few months, out of necessity, if we have not, right? And we can speak to the facts. The facts don't lie. We know the reality. How many people lose their lives in firearms, or cars, or swimming pools? And there are, of course, a segment of people in this country who don't care what the facts are. Their lives are emotion-driven. But we know the facts. We know the facts. We've got to do the right thing. So things we need to do, I look at it as short-term goal and long-term goal. Short-term, we've got to be ready, you and I and everybody you know who's involved in this fight, to be activated, to get motivated quickly whenever there's another incident, and we know there will be. As long as there are gun-free zones, they're going to happen. That's just human nature. You've got to get rid of the gun-free zones. That's the craziest thing I can think of. I've worked in one for 29 years, so I'm an expert. I'm an expert at gun-free zones and what it feels like in there. And some of you too, that feeling when you might be a confident person, a confident person, someone who is very responsible with firearms, and then you find yourself in an environment where you're just not allowed to have one, and it's not worth the risk going to jail. So I've been in that position for a long time. It's pretty strange. I've had to drive 80 miles every day, 40 each direction. 80, 41, yeah. So, I told you I'm not too smart. But, I've had to stop at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning at the ATM, or to get coffee, or to stop at Walmart, or wherever I might stop. And we're totally unarmed all that time because of the gun-free zones. But we got to mobilize and be ready whenever there is one of these incidents, because you know what's going to happen, of course, on the other side. They're all sitting there just waiting to get in front of a microphone like this when one occurs. We got to be ready to write, call, email, scream, whatever it takes, make ourselves heard, make sure that we are continuing to stay in touch with our representatives, our sentry. We've got to be there, not give that up. It is not over. We know that. And we've got to be ready to mobilize instantly. Let them know, we know that happened in wherever, North Dakota, Texas, Florida. It's going to happen. There's a wacko out there right now sitting in his basement who feels mistreated, who wants to get even with the world for whatever reason. It will happen. We know that. And that's the price of freedom, though. Nobody here, I don't imagine, wants to live in a police station. I don't. I'd rather risk being shot every day than live in a police station. Right. So anyway, we got to be ready on the short term, keep those representatives aware. We know that happens.